Hey guys, it's coreross. Today we're talking about Glaz and Warden from Rainbow Six Siege, two of the weakest operators in the game right now, and I want to go over my radical idea on how to actually fix both of these operators really easily, but in an unusual way. So first of all, let's talk about Glaz. He is now considered to be one of the worst operators on attack, and his balance and graph statistics are actually almost exactly the same as Chachanka, who sits on a mobile turret. So really bad that both the Russians are considered to be the worst operators in the game right now. And Glaz is one of the most reworked operators in the game. To begin with, he had this ugly red scope, but a really powerful gun. Then he got a really nice thermal scope, but his gun was made weaker. Then he got his thermal scope nerfed, and now he's pretty much not being picked by the average player, and he's not even getting picked by the pros anymore. Now, of course, the reason the devs have had so much trouble with Glaz and why he's been changed so much is that getting a sniper to work in Rainbow Six Siege is extraordinarily hard because the average gun battle in this game doesn't even meet 10 meters in range. So it is very hard to balance out a sniper operator that doesn't actually become powerful at close range like he did with his original thermal scope. There's also the problem of him actually being an attacker as well, because the attacking team needs to push the objective. They have more powerful ranged weapons than the defenders, but the defenders can hold back and close the distance with the attackers as they push into the objective. And that is that really nice dynamic in Rainbow Six Siege of close combat and long range combat that we see between the attackers and defenders vying for that more powerful position. Of course, there is defenders though that do have more powerful ranged weapons like Kaid and Maestro, so they can go head to head with attackers at range. But when you're an attacker, you need to be moving, you need to be pushing in, and that is not what Glaz is for. He's meant to just stay still and hold down angles, which is not good as an attacker. However, it worked quite well as a defender. And talking of defenders, we have Warden. So Warden is our brand new operator, so he's had no reworks, no changes. He's very kind of opposite from Glaz, but he has a lot of the same weaknesses. He needs to stand still to see through smoke. He does have the advantage of being immune to flashbangs, but of course the enemy need to throw those flashbangs at him in order for that to be useful. And he's a slow operator, he's going to need to hold down areas, but he might be holding down an area that will never see a flashbang or a smoke, and he's sitting there with very weak weaponry in order to go up against those attackers who might be pushing him. So as a result, we have two very similar operators with very similar gadgets, but one being brand new and one being very old, and both of them being absolutely crap. So here's my solution, and you guys can let me know what you think about this. So an attacker needs to be pushing an objective, and a defender needs to be holding down an area, and there are of course variations in there. You can have roamers and all that jazz, but for the most part, that's kind of the basic idea of both attackers and defenders. One's pushing, one's defending. So what if both of these operators switch teams? What if Glaz was actually on defense and Warden was on attack? So let's actually take a look at the loadouts that we have for Glaz and Warden, and let's propose some changes to see how these guys might actually work on opposite teams and kind of theorize the tactics that could be used for them. So first up is our basic loadout for Glaz. So of course he's got his sniper rifle, two pistol variations, and then we have a smoke or a claymore. Now I did consider actually leaving the smokes on his character on defense, which would be interesting, but then I realized all he'd have to do at the start of a game is pop a window, drop a smoke, and then he could spawn camp from the safety of a smoke. That would not be a good idea, so I have to take smokes off him. So I'm going to give him deployable shields and barbed wire. This means he can actually set up shop in a long corridor or stuff like that, or long sight angles, and hold down an area as he's supposed to do as a sniper, but because he's a defender, he'll actually be able to sit and watch and keep that area locked down without having to worry about pushing. I expect everyone that's played Rainbow Six Siege has had a Glaz player at one point in time just be sitting there, the only one alive, just waiting for a defender to come to them. Now this Glaz player would actually be able to sit on defense waiting for an attacker to come to them, and they would actually be coming because they'd be pushing the objective. Now I'd also switch up his secondary weapons and give him the Baron 9. The reason for this is just to give him a backup close combat weapon. I would not give him this weapon on attack because you really need to be facilitating the idea that this guy is a sniper. He's holding down an area. He's not trying to push in and take an objective, which of course he's supposed to do on attack. but it takes away from the sniper element. Whereas on defense, you are expected to need to defend yourself at close combat. So I do want to give him something that is full auto just for that close combat when you get into those panic situations when an objective is being pushed from multiple angles. So let me know what you think of this proposed loadout for a defender Glaz. I think it would work quite well for the sniper elements in the game. You're still not talking long range, but at least he can pick the ranges he's going to be defending rather than having to push in, take a position and just wait for hopefully a defender to run by. This means he's going to be in a position he thinks an attacker will come, so he can actually lock down an area. That thermal scope will actually be useful, and of course he can use it against diffuser plants and things like that. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this, or potentially other ideas for this loadout. So on to Warden. This is his current loadout, so of course I think pretty weak when it comes to primary weapons. Secondary weapons actually aren't that bad, and then for secondary gadgets we have impacts and barbed wire. So what would I do if I was going to switch this guy over to the attacking team? So I'd actually switch out his primary weapons and give him Jackal's AR and Jackal's SMG. For secondary weapons, I would give him Jackal's pistol and Jackal's shotgun, giving him a bit of soft destruction, always useful on any team. And then for gadgets, I would give him a breaching charge and a claymore. Now, I did consider giving him smokes, but I thought that might make him a little bit too powerful. I want him to team up with his fellow attackers for doing like diffuser plants and stuff like that with smoke cover. Now you might be thinking just like me when I came up with this idea for this loadout for him, that this is a bit overpowered for Warden on the attacking team. It's a really good AR, it's nice to have a shotgun for destruction. That is overall a very powerful loadout, but then I thought, wait a minute, this is exactly the same weapons as Jackal has, and we don't consider him to be overpowered. So I think this could work because the gadget is situational. He needs to be looking through smokes, which his friendlies will have to bring. He's going to be immune to flashbangs, which means he can facilitate pushes into objectives with friendlies throwing in flashbangs. So kind of a mini Ying, you would say, but of course very situational again because you need the attackers to also bring those flashbangs. But I could see this guy being very useful and quite enjoyable on the attacking team. Nice weapons, nice kind of teamwork gadgets, and I could see Warden working out pretty good on the attacking side. So let me know what you think about this as well, because this is all very crazy ideas of switching these two around, but I kind of feel where they are right now is actually really good for the other team, and I think it would work out quite well, surprisingly. But you guys can let me know, suggest any modifications you might make, and tell me if I'm totally nuts. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.